So I'm thrilled to have with us on the first segment Kevin O'Brien, who is the owner, president of Peak Financial Services. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it.
So we got kind of a couple topics to talk about. They're somewhat related, but let's first talk about Peak Financial Services and what you do with working with people on investments and,
Sure.
and watching their money.
Yeah, so for 30 plus years, we've been helping people plan mostly their retirements, people who are at or near retirement, and helping them put together a stream of income and protect the assets from nursing homes and taxes, and just basically help them get a good, clear picture of where they're heading, and help them execute on a plan of action so that they can solidify and enjoy their lifestyle that they want to accommodate.
And that's, I remember when we got together, it's a plan. You were talking about your business and, people being proactive, taking the time to engage with you, your team, understand what their goals, what their objectives are, and then come up with a plan to implement, to execute upon, so they're not looking back and saying, I should have, could have.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, we're proactive. It's very dynamic. Everything's constantly changing, right? We got tax regimes change. The next tweet comes out and the market goes awry. So you never know. But what we're trying to do is bring that stability, bring the clarity, some certainty to what they're trying to do, rather than just kind of being in the dark and winging it.
And so, through your involvement working with your clients with Peak Financial in the region, and you're kind of a Central Mass-based company, but will travel if necessary, right? But you kind of, through some of your client base and just coming from the area, working in the area, decided to write a book about the biotech boom in Massachusetts and in Central Massachusetts. And why don't we hold up the book for our audience here? The Massachusetts biotech boom.
So the thing that motivated me to do this is the biotech industry. I think kind of came to fruition in the 80s, right? We saw the high tech come in, it kind of waned a bit, ended up a lot of it out on the West Coast, and so biotech was the next wave. And I majored in finance and economics, so economically, to have seen the transformation of the skyline from Cambridge to Worcester, and I just love what's happening. I saw as a kid growing up in Clinton, going to St. John's, traveling up and down 290, industrial manufacturing left, right? And it left those buildings that used to be vibrant and full of people and jobs, and they were empty, and it looked pretty rough, right, in the 70s, and so we had that recession back then. A lot of the country was hurt by it, and to see the people in this area that have had the foresight, I guess, initially
to diversify the economy.
and capitalize on an opportunity that was pretty innate, I think, to what we have here. We've got the teaching hospitals, UMass, we've got Harvard, MIT,
and that's what you do in the book. You talk about kind of what were those cornerstones, and manufacturing certainly in Central Mass carried the region's economy for 100 years. But now we have healthcare, the biggest employer, education, financial service, manufacturing still a very important fourth. But we had here locally the UMass Medical School. That then, and you talk about that, then led to
I mean Craig Mello won the Nobel Prize for RNAi research, right here. And but not only have our sports teams in Massachusetts put us on the map, but the biotech industry has put us on the map as well. We're the number one biotech hub in the world.
Right.
We compete with San Francisco and California, which is a much bigger, place. But Massachusetts is the number one, arguably the number one hub for biotech. So there's some incredibly intelligent people, the breakthroughs, the capital that's here, the big farmers have come in to help out. There's just a tremendous amount of opportunity for students, for
Right.
people in that industry. It's a very dynamic industry, but there's a lot of opportunities, and that's what I'm trying to illustrate here, and to champion the cost effectiveness of our area here. You know, Central Mass, we can do it a little more economically, a lot more economically than downtown.
Yeah, and you know, downtown Boston, Cambridge, people paying $60, $70, $80 a square foot.
Yeah.
Here, close proximity to Boston, Cambridge, MIT, you know, Harvard,
Yeah.
some of the hospitals and things. But here we've got UMass Medical, UMass Memorial Healthcare System.
Right.
We've got colleges and universities in this space as well,
Yes.
WPI and some of the others. But also kind of not just research and development of cures and therapies, but also maybe build more manufacturing of biomanufacturing.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt. And I think having that base of manufacturing innately in this area and that kind of mindset, it's a natural fit, you know. So we're not here to compete against Cambridge, you know, because they're on that world stage, but the tailwinds, we can ride that tailcoat and build something that's going to be complementary to that, and definitely get, you know, our fair share of this boom that's occurring. And just that urban sprawl is naturally going to come this way. You and your people in the economic development committees, the emphasis on better transportation that you're creating, you know, you're doing a great job. And that's what I'm trying to do here with this book, is just celebrate, you know, the people, the collaborative efforts that have occurred, and give people, I don't think a lot of people understand how important this is.
You know, and this is, you know, you mentioned in the 80s, this was really like a 30, 35-year play to kind of get not just Massachusetts, but Central Mass to this point. And there was a real level of collaboration in between, you know, business leaders, political leaders, academic leaders, having the foresight to create pad-ready sites, to, you know, talk about commercialization and research. You interview some of the people and players who are central to that process.
Yep, the, you know, Massachusetts Biomedical Initiative, MBI, right? You got Kevin O'Sullivan, Abe Haddad. They've done a great job, and we just celebrated their careers, right, the other night with a nice panel and awards being given out. So that was awesome. But the future is bright, right, and the opportunities that exist. So that's what we're trying to emphasize here. I was able to interview Dennis Gabersky, the founder of Biomere, David Eason, who founded Alpha Beta. You know, two different paths that were taken. You can read about them in the book, but two successful stories, you know, and as it's a very, there's a lot of risk in this. However, failure is not a bad thing,
right?
You know,
I mean, some of the best entrepreneurs in the world have failed before they succeeded. It's you know,
exactly.
And you can't be afraid of it. So we just got a minute left. If someone's interested in the book, how do they get it, Kevin?
So they can go on Amazon. It's called The Massachusetts Biotech Boom, and it's available on Amazon. I have a website, www.massbiotechboom.com.
There we go. And if someone wants to talk to you about Peak Financial Services,
www.peakfs.com.
PeakFS. So,
and we're right in Northborough.
But thanks. The book, I enjoyed it in terms of just telling that story, laying it out. This wasn't a wave a magic wand and it happened. This was a persistent collaborative effort, and it's not only benefited Central Mass, but the entire state, and with more opportunities ahead of us.
Yep. And you guys, you're doing a great job.